Hello and welcome back to Dune Awakening. Good morning, Welly. Thanks for stopping by again, buddy. Hopefully I will be able to come and join you IRL later. And I don't have a fear of spoons, so all is well there. So, yesterday we actually completed the challenge. We have all of the refineries, all of the utilities, all of the storage. At the end of last stream we were just waiting for a bit of processing to happen so we could build our carrier, which we now have. And because I'm a bit of a fiend, I went ahead and farmed up the resources for a sandcrawler. So today's stream we're going to be looking at doing a bit of solo sand crawling, which is going to be terrifying and we could lose everything, but that's the risk. I've also started production on a buggy, which we potentially will use to mine a bit. Oh, hello. We're kind of loaded with stuff. I've just finished an A row getting more of these blades for the rare components, otherwise we'd grab that. Splash. So we're also working on the buggy, which we can use to mine ore if we need to. I do just kind of want to build it and maybe do a few ore runs, and who knows, maybe we can build the bike and the tread wheel as well, and not only have completed the challenge for all structures but also all vehicles. Who knows, maybe. It will require a bit of grind for that diamond dust, which is why I was doing another A-row run here. I think we need 15 more for the last buggy part, or one of the buggy parts. We're still missing a few bits. Yeah. What I think we'll do is we'll drop off recycle. We'll go and do a quick scan of the spice craters and see if we can find a large one that's up and hopefully not too busy. It is Sunday, so there may be other spice farmers out there. I did read in DD chat that someone else has a PvP base out here, so if we spot that, then maybe we'll do a little bit of raiding. We'll kind of we'll definitely make a note of where it is if we see it, and we'll also kind of bear that in mind if a sandstorm hits, because in order to raid a PvP base, you need to have a sandstorm pass over it, and for 5 minutes you can attack that structure. You essentially have 5 minutes to either destroy the sub-thief and place your own, or destroy the rest of the base, or knock the power out, in which case you can take as much time as you like after the storm has passed. It's Patrick. I think that's Patrick, right? That's a SpongeBob thing, I think. I was a bit old for the SpongeBob stuff. So yeah, here's our bay for our little buggy, which looks done, but actually is missing a cockpit and power supply. And if we take a look in here, it does fit, but my god, like only just. Look, this is our carrier. It's huge. Huge McDooge. We also have our sandcrawler here. So let's drop some bits off, recycle, grab fuel, because we're going to need a lot of that. And yep, Patrick Star, I thought so. Grab some fuel, drop some bits off. We should have now plenty of money. Yeah, because I did a couple of runs in A-row, so we can go to the vendor and buy them out of diamond dust again. Recycle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay. It does help though, and it would seem, having done a couple of runs in A-row, it's just the wrecks that are most likely to drop the parts that we need. What else do we need? Oh yeah, let's drop these schematics off. So just kind of casually, not even really trying to go for schematics, so we're not clearing out labs. We're up to 63 schematics this week. Like, that's That's crazy lots. Okay. I'm not going to bother taking the fuel while we just scout the craters. I do want a map. You pull that up on the old browser. F9H8G4 is the order we'll scout. So east mostly, and north a little bit. F9. Huh. I think it must be here. Actually, it says middle. It says it's maybe it's like there. So solo sand crawling is risky. Now there is a vehicle reclaim thing. It's less risky, so you can actually retrieve your vehicle if it gets eaten by a sandworm. It costs Solaris and 15% of the max durability. So you can only kind of fluff up so many times before you've got to replace your whole rig. If you get eaten as well as your vehicles, then you lose everything that's on you, and that's just gone. You have to make it all again, which would be a setback for us, but honestly, we would recover even without any materials from Hagga. At this stage, we have such good production, and we have a reasonable stockpile of stuff. Oh, I forgot to put water on. That we would bounce back. It might take a little bit of grindy grind, but we'll be okay. And if we do get eaten this stream, the grindy grind will happen off stream later, probably. This stream may be a little bit shorter than the other ones this week, due to the opportunity to do a bit of IRL socializing, which I kind of need to make sure I do. And we've also completed the challenge. So there may be another little stream later this evening. We'll see. I do want to get a sand crawl down. I want to at least get more towards our buggy, like process some more plast. And I quite like to put up a PvP base this week, which would be awesome. As I say, there is another base somewhere out here. I wonder if the chat's still there. Oh, you won't be able to read it because of where my avatar is. Yeah, someone was asking if it was me that attacked their base. And I said, nope. If it was me, you wouldn't have a base left. And then they found out who it was by going through the combat logs. So you can kind of see when people attack you, etc. Unless they attack from an ornithopter with missiles. Which case it just says destroyed by environment, which... I mean, I kind of get it. They're trying to, like, have this anonymity for people that want to be sky pirates, but I don't know. It's, like, half-baked. For instance, if you get killed by missiles from an ornithopter, although your combat log will say killed by environment, at the top of your screen before you, like, respawn, it tells you exactly who killed you. So, it's just inconsistent. Wow, we lucked out. Okay. Awesome. This is it. This is the one for us. This is almost the closest field we could have, so we're almost as lucky as possible. I think G4 would have been a bit closer, but honestly, 10k out is fine. If we get into bother, because it's in row F, we've only got to go down like one sector and we'll be in PvE. So provided I don't die to the worm, even if we get a bit of heat while we're farming, we should be alright. Oh crap, overheated. And I must remember, so bodies on, pick up fuel, grab sky potato, pick up sand crawler, and head there. Oh, maybe do a bit more blast. I did do quite a bit of just the kind of ore mining and grabbed a bit more spice just to make the buggy. But if we can get a haul with the sandcrawler, that's 1,000 melange, which is like about third of what we've gathered this entire week. Like, just to give you an idea of scales. When we take an assault out and fill it up, which takes 20 minutes-ish, we would get the equivalent of about 250 melange. One run with this is 1,000 with the basic storage. It was a nice surprise in yesterday's stream to get raided by so many people. Picked up a few new followers from that, which I'm very grateful for. And a few more after I ended the stream, which was awesome. Yeah, the economy of scale in this game is just crazy. Excuse me. The first time you build like a large refiner, it's much more efficient. It takes more water in one go and more spice sand in one go to make the melange, but it's much more efficient. And that's a hell of a grind, or certainly the first one you get ever seems that way. And then when you're like, even as a solo operator, I could foresee myself having 2 large spice refiners so that I can be processing 2 lots at the same go. The limiting factor really, especially if you bring materials from Hagga, is water. Now water is very expensive to produce in terms of power. The machines that run it require a lot of power. They require quite a bit of space if you're using wind traps, and like the materials to build the actual things are quite expensive. Twice the spice, twice as nice. Indeedy. Right. So what did I say? I said bodies, refining, fuel, go, go, go. So the sensible thing to do, nice, would be to strip down naked, just a water bottle on me, and go and solo farm in case we get eaten, so we don't lose all our stuff. I kind of find that a little bit cheesy, even if one of the senior devs on Funcom stream says that's how they farm flower sand. They go out naked on there in case they get eaten. But we are gonna put it all on the line and just send it. I don't even think that's enough fuel, crazily enough. Let's make all of those up. Take this out. Let's put this in here. And while we're waiting for that fuel, let's see if we can make another buggy part. Let's see. Looks like no. Probably it's water that we're waiting on. We need a power supply and a cockpit. This what's going to need the dust, but we can pick that up from the capital once the vendor refreshes. And a cutter, right? Okay, so that's fine. That's relatively cheap. Okay, so we do need a little bit more plast, but probably just what we've queued up. And we're going to need some diamantine dust, and we're going to need some water. But that's all fine. That will all come literally just as we are. The only thing what we might need to worry about is the vendor for the diamantine dust. Diamantine? I don't know how they pronounce it. Let's see. So, I mean, that's got to be enough fuel. I'm going to say it's enough fuel, and if it's not, then we're going to be very sad. Actually, let's just grab one more. It would be a shame to fly all the way out there only to get stranded. 10 fuel seems good, question mark. Have I fully fueled this? It's kind of weird. Sometimes the skins for these don't load in properly, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, there we go. It just popped in. Right, let's grab Sky Potato. God, I haven't done solo crawling in a very long time. Ages and ages. Let's go. So, we need to pick this up. Oh, come on. need to go? 10k. This is going to be a bit sweaty for me. As I say, I've only done solo crawling a few times. So hopefully we don't lose everything. So we're now going to be vulnerable to attack. I think probably at the moment there's only one person that would be likely to attack us out here, who is ironically on our friends list. But hey, you know, it is part of the game. I think we'll be alright. I think we'll be able to get out there, get on the sand, and yeah, hopefully get a full load of spice. God, that overheat period for the carriers takes so long to cool down. It's kind of crazy. I do need to make sure that I don't overheat. That's interesting that it takes so long though. So almost halfway out there. We're going to drop our sand crawler, we're going to park our carrier, and we're going to start running. Oh shit. Let it overheat again. We're going to park our carrier and just kind of do circles around the carrier basically. We do have sugar wire on, we have sprint on, we have knee charge, so we have maximum mobility to get back to our carrier. But the problem is you need to get back to your carrier, you need to get in it, you need to get in the air, and you need to lift your sand crawler all before the worm gets to you. So as soon as we see worm sign, we're going to need to absolutely book it. Apologies for the background noise. I keep overheating, honestly. I'll get used to it, I'm sure, but yeah, it's the thing. So I unfortunately missed a nice follower number. We're up to 74, which is awesome. Like, that's great. I really appreciate it. I think moving forwards, we're probably going to look to doing a regular schedule. Probably not every day like we have for this challenge week, but we'll do challenge weeks at some point in the future, I'm sure. And we'll look to doing a variety stream day as well. I'm still really enjoying playing Dune, and I think there's a lot of good stuff that we can do together on Dune. And especially when Chapter 3 comes out, that's going to be great, but that could be quite a way off. And I would quite like to just kind of try some other games. As mentioned on some of the previous streams, Epic give away a game each week. So if there is a game there that looks good, we'll try it out. I'm thinking maybe Wednesdays for variety stream, and then probably like Tuesday and Thursday for Dune, and we'll kind of see how things shape up. Right, okay, here we go, wish me luck. This is terrifying. We're just gonna drop this. Dunk this down. Whoa. We're going to walk over to our sand crawler. And here we go. Our first sand crawlering. So when you get in the sand crawler, it's very important that you put the vacuum on Otherwise, when you drive around, it just does nothing. I'm trying to keep the speed at about 11 so that we don't have to go over the same patch twice. I am wondering whether actually the most sensible thing to do would be to do circles in front of the carrier. Because if we get worm sign now, which I don't think we will. Hello! Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Iron Bathtub. I love the name. It's awesome. We are doing our first solo sand crawling. So, well, first on the stream. And with materials that we only got out here in the deep desert. We came out here with nothing. Just a scout and a loadout. No materials at all. Oh, hi, Gar. Nice one, man. Nice to see you. So Gar plays on our server. He's a friendly player. In fact, most of our community are absolutely lovely. I am going to start kind of just doing a bit more right in front of our carrier here. Because the carrier, as well as being very slow, just kind of generally, it turns like a cow. It's very, very bad at steering. We'll see if we can just cut in a little bit here. So, in terms of spice, we've already like filled up almost as much as a assault could carry in one go. So there's these couple of minutes on the sand in the sand crawler, almost 20 minutes with a compactor and an assault. And as you can see, in terms of gather per like worm aggro, if you like, this is just much better. I heard some people talking about sand crawling, you essentially you get 3 minutes as long as there's no one else on the crater between worm aggros, which is, when you're sucking up this much sand, actually quite a lot of time. I'm kind of wanting the worm to come now so we can reposition, but you know, if he wants to take longer, I'm fine with that too. I wouldn't command anyone to do that, but it would be greatly appreciated, man. I literally made affiliates so people can do that kind of support for the channel. Oh, yesterday. Run, 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 run. Run faster. Run faster, much faster. Need to go faster. Come on. Okay, that was... Oh, that was close. Okay, that was super sweaty. He even, like, actually breached. Thank you very much for that, sub. I really appreciate it, Gar. Nice one.
Where am I? Who are you people?
Nice one. Appreciate it. That was far too close. So we were... So lessons learned there. We were too far away from our carrier. We need to be much closer. So what actually, ironically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go... Ooh. I'm going to actually take back off and see whereabouts this worm is, because I'm still getting kind of worm noises. Although there's no aggro, sometimes they can come back around. Yeah, that was like far too close. That breaching animation where it actually opened its jaws trying to get at us, that's as close to death as you can get without losing everything. Okay, well, I don't see anything. So we'll go down again. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to like start farming sand further away from the carrier, and then drop. Thank you. And then what we'll do is we'll start farming a lot closer as time ticks up. So the theory being We'll be really close by the time the worm comes. And we need to be in front of it as well. If I was behind or to the side there, we would have absolutely lost everything. We almost did. Like, if he had clipped us, even if, like, the side of it had touched us, we would have lost not only the carrier and the sandcrawler, we would have lost our entire loadout as well. So yeah, that was a bit sweaty. But as you might imagine, this is not really what's designed to be done solo. We're very fortunate to have a pretty friendly community in terms of farmers not really being bothered now. It's really kind of designed for someone to be flying in the carrier all the time, somebody to be running armed escort, and maybe even a scout or two looking for very early indications of worms before you actually see the red worm sign at the bottom. Well, this is a very inefficient way of doing it solo, but I haven't done a lot of solo spice farming. I have done a bit, just to say I've done it, but I am by no means experienced in such things, which is why you'll see the pattern of me kind of vacuuming up is a bit erratic, shall we say. So I'm gonna just do stuff really close. Again, apologies about the background noise. I'm just gonna do stuff really close to the carrier, because I'd rather not lose it on our first run out, even though this is technically my second carrier and second carryall, because we've got another one in Hagga Basin. Yeah, it's still a lot to lose. Yeah, it's like sometimes the aggro is slightly better at the moment than it has been before, but when there were like quick breaches, there was nothing you could do. Like, there was no warning, no time. There's a clip on this channel where we just got lucky. Like, it wasn't worm aggro as such, it was just the worm patrolling underneath us. But if that worm had been even slightly closer to the surface, we would have absolutely just lost everything. And it can be quite a setback. Even now you can reclaim your vehicles. Come on, Wormy, you know you want to come. Like, appearing now would be great. This is super inefficient. But sorry to hear... Oh, shit. Run! Faster! Okay, that was much cleaner. Much cleaner. Still terrifying, though. Yeah, losing your loadout and your assault. I mean, you can get the assault back, but the loadout, man, like, that sucks. Especially if you're on a medium. I am super cautious about farming. And I have noticed, like, the worm sign's gone now, but if we watch this guy, and this is the same on medium, sometimes it can be worse on medium. He might, see, it looks like he's gone, but he could just swing around and patrol back through here. Oh, hello, we've got incoming. I think. Or are they? No, they're going south somewhere. Oh shit, that's not good. Right, we're headed south. Where's it coming from? It's coming from the north. Wow, only 1 minute warning? That's not great. Oh. Come on. There's not many places you can stick one of these things, as you might imagine. What direction is it actually coming from? It's coming from the west. It's also, yeah, it's coming horizontally. We are going to get clipped by this. I don't think there's anything we can do to prevent that. So we need to find somewhere where we can minimize the amount of time we're in the storm. It's going to be important that we move away, and we're definitely more towards the south end of the storm, so we're just going to keep going this way. I overheated, which is super dangerous at this point. This might be a cauldron rock layout. If it is, then we're in luck. If we're not, if it's not, then we are. Go on, I take some storm damage. Very unlucky to be out first time with this and only get a 1 minute warning on the storm. Don't overheat. Keep going south. Damn it, I overheated. I'm so not used to piloting these things. I think we may end up flying through a little bit of this storm. But it's better than just touching down on open sand. We should really stop at a rock somewhere. Because even being still, you take less damage than actually attempting to fly through one of these storms. We're so close to getting around it. I think we're good. I think we're safe. Ooh. Yeah. Just. So we'll follow up behind this storm. Now the good thing about storms, especially if you're right in behind it, is it's unlikely you're going to have players. Like they're going to be taking shelter as well. We did see an assault kind of come near the crater and then kind of steer away. I think they were going to a testing center, but they may have just been going somewhere to wait out the storm. We'll have to see. This thing just drinks fuel. It's crazy. Oops. These things overheat so easily. Oh, it sucks. I'd love to be able to check what our sand crawler volume is from within the carrier, but you can't. Okay, we're back already. Nothing on the skyline, which, if you want to be very sneaky about jumping people that are doing this, then you hide behind the dunes. Right, let's try here. It really hurts my little bit of OCD going on with the patterns we're making here, but hey, we're kind of not experienced solo crawlers, so. And again, we shouldn't really be carrying any equipment on us. It's really foolish to be doing this in equipment, but it's challenge week. We're gonna go full send. I should probably be going a little bit faster than this, but it's fine. So there are two kind of schools of thought on doing sand crawling. One is to say, oh, just go as fast as you possibly can, and then go over it twice. And the other one is to go about 11 and get everything in one pass. I prefer the get everything in one pass strategy, where I can do that. And it's also super chill, just kind of vacuuming them up. The worm definitely makes this process more tense, more stressful, but essentially it is vacuum cleaning. Especially if you haven't got players to worry about as well. As I say, we have a very farm-friendly community out here. That may well change with character transfers. We could see people coming into our server that like to be aggressive with their ornithopters or protective over spice sands. Or who knows, maybe we'll have even more nice folk come and join us. I am so nervous. Oh dear. Like now is where, like, I actually want the worm to come now whilst I'm like right in front of my carrier. We should probably have a timer for like in between worm aggro. As I say, without anyone else in the crater, I think it's about 3 minutes on the sand crawling before the next worm comes. Like, please come now-ish would be good. Just tidy this spot up. It's kind of pointless. It's much more efficient just to go for the dense areas, but you know, I like to keep a tidy spice crater if I can. I think we're actually going to pick up and move to another spot, even if the worm doesn't come, if we clean this out. Clean enough, anyway. How are we doing on volume? Oh, don't need that in there. So we're over halfway already, which is awesome. Oh, there it is. Let's try not to get eaten. Wow, that's closer than we would want it. Not quite as close as that first one. That first one he actually breached and snapped at us. I think we will just keep an eye. The worm sign's gone at the bottom, so technically we could come right down, but I want to see if he's going to come back round. Somebody's got eyes on us because Anastasia just asked if it's us spice farming. Oh, I guess that's them there. I'm just going to find out if they're crawling or not. You're going to crawl too. Let's see. Yeah, of course. So, again, how nice is this server? Someone asked, is it me crawling? I very rarely crawl, so it's kind of unusual that they would even ask. And then they asked if it's alright to crawl as well, and it's like, yeah, come on. Like, even if it calls the worm faster with two of us doing this crawling, it's just better for us both to get some rather than nothing, and we're almost full as well. Like, yeah, we need 2,500 more. I have seen some of the other servers where you've got like N+ aggressive Thopter pilots to protect one crawler load, and like, I do get that, and it's kind of cool from a certain degree, especially if you like the air combat, which I don't. But like, imagine like 1,000 melange that you've got to split 15 ways amongst your defense crew, plus your carrier pilot, plus your sandcrawler pilot, driver, I should say, and then also pay for all your repairs on everything. Like, it stops being very efficient. You kind of need to do multiple runs if you're running a large crew for it to actually be worth. Which is totally doable. And obviously if you've got a really good protection crew, there's nothing stopping you running 2 carriers either. 2 carriers, 2 sandcrawlers. Like, we're over halfway full. They said that they were 15k out, so we may actually finish before they get here. And because there's 2 of them, they can actually harvest a lot more efficiently. Need a big guild with 2 or 3 crawlers. Yeah, absolutely. Economies of scale. Welcome back, by the way. Yeah, if you can get the operations really slick, then having lots is fine, as long as you're getting lots. You know, having lots of people dipping into the pot, as it were. But for us on this nice, quiet, friendly, sleepy server, there's a lot of solo going on. No massive groups of aggressive Thopter pilots, which suits me. I mean, don't get me wrong, when we had them, I would turn up to fight. I just don't turn up in a Thopter. I turn up in a still suit and a las gun and kind of yeet myself through the air. I was getting slightly better at it. It's very difficult to put up any significant defense against an assault from foot because they can outrun locked-on missiles, which, like, I do get in terms of the spirit of running away, but I think if you're running missiles on a scout, I don't think you should be able to outrun a lock-on missile from a hand launcher. I think you need to, like, play it more defensively, but that's just personal opinion. Oh, that's my cue. Yes. Well, I wouldn't say I chased them off. Most of them left because they were fed up with the... Oh, no. They were fed up with the bugs with the assault Thopters. Like, sometimes the missiles just don't work. It was also very coincidental timing that they stopped when the repair bugs were patched. Although I actually spoke to one of their crew yesterday who popped on, and they said it wasn't to do with that, and it was just the assault bugs. But they stockpiled hundreds of thousands of melange, so they're going to have a good head start on most people for the next update. But I did have fun fighting from the ground. It's hilarious to see, like, these like people that... It's not really PvP if you're shooting at people that can't fight back. That's the way I look at it. When you've got someone that's used to running around and just death from above shooting people with missiles, see someone on the sand in a still suit, and they come after them, and they're used to them, like, running, and then they see them they see them running towards them. Like, if it's me, you can tell they're going, haha, got you. Wait a minute, why is he running towards me? Why is he flying through the air? What's in his hand? And then they start running. It's very funny. It's kind of a shame that the only real way of doing significant damage to an assault is either another assault, or the kind of cheesy ride a scout with a las gun. So if you get somebody else to do it. Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. They're not actually interested in a fight. They just want a dopamine fix from having hurt someone, which I just, like, I don't get it. Like, I do get the PvP thing. It's fun, but I want to fight somebody that wants to fight. And quite often, like with the ground PvP, not always, as Jonathan would attest, but quite often I'll put someone down, but I won't finish them off. I'll let them get back up, and, like, if they want to run away, they can. If they want to fight some more, I'll let them heal up and we'll go at it again. Like, PvP, when it's not hate-fueled or full of spite, is just great fun. Like, it should just be about the fun. It shouldn't encourage this kind of toxic, how dare you kind of attitude. We actually need to reposition here. How close are we to full? Yeah, we're very close. Most of the people that we had that were running aggressive Thopter pilots were not getting anything out of it. They were simply doing it to cause other people stress and hassle. And I just don't get that mentality. Like, They would start off by saying, "Oh well, you know, it's just to slow down other people's progression." It's like, yeah, but it's not really, is it? Like, if you want to slow down other people's progression, it's because again, you're not in it for a challenge. You just want to kill people. But it takes all sorts, you know. It's just that kind of playstyle is not for me. Yeah, flying into medium zones that are in PvE and like trying to just call the worm as often as you can. Like I say, what it is it's taking joy in other people's misery. And like, if that is something that a player enjoys, it's not that I don't understand it, but it's probably as a consequence of something in their life that they didn't have control or power over, and this is a way of kind of getting some of that feeling back, I guess. I don't know. I just prefer to help people than hurt them. That's just my way. This is such an inefficient way of gathering spice, but I don't care. It's our first run, and we made. We weren't. I wasn't even planning on making vehicles this week because we weren't bringing any materials out here. So this is literally 2 vehicles we've crafted from stuff that we've gained while we've been out here. I'm expecting the worm any second now. I don't really want to wander too far. But yeah, I know, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's got to be close, right? Yeah, we got like 1,000 more to go. I think I'm going to reposition again. And I would have thought our the other players going to be here with their crawler soon. I'm going to reposition because I just that at first run, which I will do a clip of in a bit, was just far too close for comfort. We'll do this spot here. So the light on the back of the sandcrawler actually turns red once you're full. It does make a weird noise at the point at which you fill up as well, so there are a couple of indicators. And for those of you that enjoy playing Sky Pirate, then yeah, look out for the sandcrawlers with the red icon at the back. That means it's full. Really tempting just to look again and see how full we are, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Once we're full, we're full. I'm gonna look. Oh, we're still actually we need quite a lot more. Okay. Weren't quite as close as I thought. Yeah, absolutely. If you wanted to do pirating with the new container, then the strategy would be go out there with some assaults, get your target down and have somebody nearby-ish with a container, and then just transfer everything across. You'd still have to kind of transfer it by hand, so you would want lots of players to do it quickly. And you would ideally want to take them down over some rock. Obviously, if you take them down over the open sand, then you're exposing yourself to a potential attack. I'm going to move again. I just don't want to be too far from the sand crawler. Malice's Palace. Honestly, my Hagga Basin is this boring, like, space-efficient box thing at the moment in preparation for character transfer, and not that I want to leave our server, but eventually, like, everyone's going to be moved or have to move. But the base we've got out here this week is awesome. I will show you as soon as we've finished this load. I'm really pleased with how it turned out, from humble shack to the kind of fortress looking thing we've got today. And as I say, I know I'm a bit of a stuck record, but we did this with no materials from Hagga Basin, which I think is awesome. Having had much more experience of coming out to the deep desert with no materials, some of the tips I would offer are Aero for Diamondine Tusk. Recycling any bladed weapons is kind of a must. If you want to do it, we just did it strictly like nothing from Hagga. There are vendors in the capital which will sell carbon scraps and diamondine dust. Or you get 15 for 52,500 Solaris, and you can make, oh, there we go, we're full. You can make Solaris from the Aero, Rex and PvP stations. If you're going to be doing this challenge, I would advise buying them out every day. They got a 20-hour cooldown. So that just helps, because in order to make your vehicles, although your utilities don't need it, your vehicles do. And some of them need, I think the carrier needs maybe 120, maybe less than that. 30, 60, yeah, maybe 90 actually. And I think every vehicle has a component that needs it. Same with the carbon scraps, but you can get them from buried treasures. They're very rare, but when you do get them, you can get a stash of 10, which is great. But mostly bladed weapons recycle is your friend there. For your duraluminium, you have to hit the buried treasures. There's literally nowhere else where you can get them. And for your military power regulators, right? These, I think, are the rarest item out here in the deep desert. Not the overclocked ones, which you use for the duraluminium tier stuff, but the military grade that you need for the advanced weapon bench. You only need like 6, I think. But literally the only place I have found them, other than one testing station which can drop them sometimes, it's a rarer drop, but the museum one, the one with the quicksand at the start, the end chest there can sometimes contain them. But if you haven't got any of that testing station, like we don't this week, you can only get them out of buried treasure. The good news is you get like 25 when you find them. The bad news is they are unbelievably rare. Like, I've looted literally hundreds of buried treasure, and I've had 2 that have had those in them, and we were very lucky to get them this week. But having said that, it is a lot of fun doing this challenge, and I would strongly encourage people, if you haven't got an overly hostile server, especially because being able to come into PvP for resources is a great time saver rather. Give it a go. Like, give yourself a good loadout. Give yourself your weapons of choice, your gathering tools, so your canes cutter A, your compactor. Get a decent one of those. Get yourself a shield, suspensor belt, and power block. I actually brought a spare shield, power block, and suspensor belt as well. But then just a scout, come out to the DD, spend a few days, see how far you can get with just that gear. It's fun. It has been fun. And buried treasures, they're really your friend. Everybody kind of knows about the fallen ships. They're a great resource of high volumes of good resources. But the buried treasures are often slept on by people. And somebody from our raid yesterday, it might have even been you, Shinahonk, was saying, if you've got a few friends with you, when you do the buried treasure, provided you don't take everything out of it, other people can come and loot it and they get their own individual loot as well. So if you've got a few friends and you want to do this challenge, you'll be able to do it really quickly. But like, it would be so cool to see like a few Thopter friends all flying across the desert, scanning, digging up. You'd be able to actually get a remarkable amount of resources in a relatively short time. My god, the sky potato is slow. Especially when it's laden. Actually, when it's unladen, when it hasn't got something being carried, it's pretty fast. But we've got kind of used to our assault and scout, so anything less than that feels like a crawl. No pun intended. So here we're coming up to, well, what was a humble base, but is now very much looking like a fortress. Once we've got these things parked up, I'll give you a quick tour, Gar, so you can see what it's like. I do a unique build each week out in the DD. No two bases are the same. I have started taking Solidos of them, but there have been quite a few where I just haven't bothered, and I should have. Excuse me. I think this is just going to land on the shield. Yeah, so we have to get in it for it to go down. Oh no, it did go in. Great. And even though I thought we had gone too big with this hangar, like, literally, it just fits in. We bring it forward a little bit more. Just moved up from a scout and to an assault on the server. It feels like flying a brick at the moment. I agree, but I kind of like it. Like, they got the weighting of it so right. You go in the scout and you're like, this is awesome. You upgrade to a 6 and you're like, oh, it's like a bullet. And then you get an assault and you're like, ah, this is like flying a brick or a tank. Interestingly, the hummingbird wings for the assault, I would strongly recommend upgrading to them. Even though on paper they don't look like they're going to do much, it does make it feel a lot more nimble. So they are definitely worth. Likewise with the booster, it's definitely a good thing to get, because you can boost more, so you're going to spend less time traveling. And taking out the walking component, the traveling component in these games means usually a bit more fun. I love these new hollow trees. There's our wind trap behind pentashields to stop it taking anywhere. If you build too high, I mean 2 columns high, and put a roof over one of these, they work absolutely fine, and you can pentashield them in. But yeah, it's looking good. We've got a carrier bay, we've got our sandcrawler bay, we've got our not quite finished buggy down here, and we've got our assault bay here. We don't actually have a bay for our scout, so we just land it at the front and put it away. It's very much a function over form base on the inside. So we've got our Jonky Boy refiner up there. We've got all of the legacy stuff, the stuff that got us to where we are upstairs, because the challenge was to bring up my build tool, to build everything in here, which we have done, everything in here, which we have done, everything in here, which we have done, and everything in here. In terms of grind, yes, the amount of spice needed for one of these is huge, but actually it's your duraluminum. Like, you can literally only get them from buried treasure, and if you're lucky you'll find 5 in one, but you could do 10 buried treasures and not find a single one. So it's interesting. A spiral staircase would be lovely. You know what, I was actually thinking about that myself the other day. Just as I was drifting off to bed, which is tragic to think about, but I was thinking, oh, it would be really nice, especially when you've got something tight like this. Just being able to run a spiral staircase up this would be fantastic. I probably will have another look through their live stream just to see if I could see any hints of anything like that, but because it would structurally and kind of programming wise be a different object, I doubt we'll see it with the smugglers set that's coming in. Also, because it's DLC, I would expect it to kind of include just the same tile sets. But yeah, this is kind of home for this week, and it's come together really well, I think. How close are we? Excellent, that's almost done. Let's see if we can make another part for our buggy. Which I think we should be able to. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. So I think we definitely need a power supply. Have one of those. We do need a cut array. We do need a storage. And we need the hull. So the diamantine dust. And you know what? Let's just beeline it back to Harko village. Go and pet the donkey. And see if we can buy the last 15 we need for our other vehicle. Let me see. Oh, while I remember, because otherwise I'll take off and forget. Let's refuel both of our vehicles. Is this forward as it can be? Yeah, pretty much. Fuel, more fuel. There we go. And I should also repair up while I remember. They don't take a lot of wear, these things, from a single run. So this was a brand new carrier when we took it out. And as you can see, it's taken very minimal damage just from being used. I do also have the perk here, which reduces the max durability loss by 35%. Like, it just seems like a no-brainer for me. That's all done. And we'll go and refill the sandcrawler as well. Otherwise, I'll go to take it out and be very surprised about how empty it is. That all seems good. Tails and chassis essentially shouldn't take damage unless you're taking, unless you're coming under fire. In which case they take quite a lot of damage quite quickly. Yeah, the vacuum, like, I never really got it, but the vacuum never takes wear either. Even though it's in use, like the treads, I get. The engine, absolutely. The power supply, absolutely. And this is what takes the most wear, is the centrifuge. Whilst you're in and it's running, it's constantly taking wear. Which is another little tip. If you are waiting for something and you're sat in one of these, just hop in the passenger seat and it should reduce the wear. But the vacuum doesn't take any wear, and I just, like, I don't get it. I mean, I'm not really complaining, it just seems weird. I'm going to test this as well, I remember. I mentioned yesterday the Prudent store. You see where the red lights are? I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to re-add it. Yeah. Yeah, you see how they're blue? Like, they're blue, they're red. And these will turn red eventually. And I don't, like, why? What's that about? Let's try this one as well, see if it does the same. Yeah. I really like the blue, but they just turn red for some reason after a little while. Absolutely. Depending on your playstyle, there's a lot to be had from the passives. I run a melee focused loadout. I haven't even respec'd this week to have like extra compacting. Like, I should have spent the first few days with like Sandcrawler Yield, well, not Sandcrawler, but compaction, deep analysis, cut array mining, all those things. But I've just kept my default loadout. So I have a little bit of fuel reduction, max durability loss reduction, power regeneration, and maximum power, because that's essentially my only defense as a still user. I use sugar wire on level 3 for the extra range, but you don't need it. Center of mass I have slotted for the extra blade damage. These reduce wear and max durability on your tools and weapons. Suspensor blast is ace. As a kind of get away from me panic button move. I haven't used it this week, but it is good. Suspensor efficiency, because I spend quite a bit of time in the air when I'm doing building. Suspensor dash for speed running stuff is helpful. Reduction for garments, max durability and actual loss. Source of power, in case I come across a base or a thopter that I want to attack that's parked up, you pop one of these, get your las gun out, and you can melt it. Bene Gesserit, short blade damages. I do like the level 3 sprint. I found with the level 3 sprint and a Shiga wire, you can kind of get away from a worm, as long as your suspensor belt doesn't run out of power. Weirding Step is my go-to for combat. Manipulate instability for extra damage. Compel, I have this purely because if you're fighting outside against somebody that's ranged, as a melee person, you only have 2 options to pull someone out of the air. One is Compel and one is Shiga Wire. And honestly, it's just not enough. So you are at a severe disadvantage outside against players that are playing ranged. Extra health. Poise, stability. So this and the passive one that we'll see in the Swordmaster's tree mean I don't get staggered by missiles, which is a big thing. These are just to get to this perk. Retaliate, I really love. It's a bit overpowered, to be quite honest. It hits an opponent through their shield. It applies a bleed instantly, even if they have bleed tolerance. It just instantly bleeds them. It also staggers them. It's got a short cooldown and a minimal kind of stamina requirement. This is for extra blade damage. Because we're a dagger user primarily, we don't use the long blade damage. Foil, it's kind of a throwaway point for me at the moment, but when they changed the NPC behavior so that they would dash out of stuns, I actually found having 2 of these could be quite nice. Tickling Strike, which used to be great and no longer is. It's still good, it's just not great. I use Solid Stance, so this combined with this is what means you don't get staggered by missiles, and even shotguns take quite a few hits to stagger you. We're using maximum stamina here, optimized hydration for more maximum stamina, full knee charge because I like the extra damage. If you're in a long fight against another melee user and you're not allowing them to heal, this will actually attrition them down. Even if you're not poisoning, if you're not piercing them, eventually you'll get them down with a knee charge. And that's my loadout most of the time. This is my loadout for just hypermobility, so Shiga Wire, Sprint, and knee charge. We made new parts for the buggy. Let's go and stick them on, and then we'll go and grab the diamondine dust we need for the last one. And then honestly, like, that's kind of done, really. We may as well see if we can make the sand bike and the tread wheel, but I think we're going to struggle for dust. I might do some more runs in the Aero station yields, Aero Rex yield enough blades that give you about 6 a run. So we might be able to. We're going to need, let's see, 15. That's fine. Oh, we don't actually want that. Okay, so we need 15 for the buggy and probably just 15 for the tread wheel too. Yeah. Yeah. So it's probably doable, which would be cool to say we came out to the deep desert with a scout and a loadout, and then we're coming back to Hagga with a full complement of everything, vehicle and machine-wise. Let's get this buggy built and put some more water on, and then we'll pop back to Hagga, pop to Arakeen to pet the donkey and buy some diamondine dust. Don't need that. I need this. Assemble. Buggy boot, cut array, power supply. So I think we're just missing the chassis now, the cockpilot. We did loot a buggy engine from one of the stations, and because of what we're going to use it for, that's absolutely fine. I would like to upgrade it to 6. Likewise with the assault, we're actually running a generator and a booster that's Mark 5 that we found from Aero stations. So it would be nice just to have everything Mark 6 when we come back out, but it's going to be the lowest priority. Let's see, let's get another 60 of this on. We need more Stravinium, which is lucky because we have a lot of it. And we need to put some bodies on. Then we need to grab our pennies and head off to the capital. Will it be the... oh, I didn't pick up the course. Shinar Hawk says, I might end up waiting for Chapter 3 release before doing capstone skills. I really hate the 48-hour cooldown. I absolutely hear you, because in order to do those capstone skills, you have to use a top ability X number of times to progress the quest. And in Chapter 3, they are going to enable players to respec for increasing amounts of Solaris. So you could do it quite quickly if you're kind of minted for money. Which I think is a good change. The cash, it will be interesting to see how much it costs, because historically they haven't really charged us very much. If you look at the cost to reclaim a vehicle, it's pretty low. Pretty generous. So we'll see if they do the same with the respecking, and that will enable us to do the capstone quests in a day instead of having to wait 2 days. But we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Do we take everything? I don't think we do. I think we take exactly the right amount. 50 to 500. That should be enough. I'm going to be very sad if I've misremembered this, but we have got 6 Diamondine Dust already, so we'll be fine. I love that vocal line in the background there. It's a beautiful voice. A voice to wake the ancestors, as they say. Two or 3 weeks to do all of them. I haven't calculated it. I kind of like did them as I went. But yeah, I can totally imagine that. I guess if you're a high enough level, yeah, if you're careful with your points and you know exactly which skills you want, you could tee up all of your capstone quests at the same time, do a single reroll, like have a kind of nothing burger build just to complete those quests, and then respec into something more usable. But it is a weird thing. Like I would have preferred like a training environment. Like, hey, you've now increased your skill level to nearly the maximum with this trainer. Now you come and fight me and use this skill, and do it that way. But hey, they went a different direction, which is fair and fine. It will be fairer once we can use cash. I'm kind of a little bit against any kind of like just arbitrary time locking stuff. And there's a fair bit in here. And we're going to get new ones. It's not time locked, but it's definitely a like prolonging the amount of time it takes to progress. So they're going to have this system of 5 quests a day with bonus something. And I suspect that is going to be a bonus currency, which is what's going to limit the progression. And whilst they say bonus, I wouldn't be surprised if you can still do the quest without the bonus, but the bonus is the only bit that gives you what you really need. Yeah, a big mission would be awesome, right? Like, maybe even, like, you go into an instance which has a big mission and they give you a loadout. So you're doing the training for the Blade Master and he's like, right, I want you to go and fight this guy using only the skills which you've gained through training with me. So you can't like bring out a gun, you're forced to use a blade. Likewise, if you're doing a Mentat one, you're doing an assassination mission where you've got to use the sniper and the hunter seeker. That would be awesome. They did say that the missions coming in Chapter 3 are repeatable without the bonus, but I suspect, reading between the lines, that probably means minimal gain for any mission over 5. I suspect there'll still be chances to get schematics for your mods, but I suspect the resources required to either build mods or progress your new progression tree will be locked out after you've done those 5 missions. But we'll see. Who knows? One thing that, for better or worse, they have shown a willingness to do with Dune is flex and change. Some people would say too much. Others would say not enough. But it has been good, I think, overall, to see them adapting and changing. I think it is important to change your view based on the feedback you get, but I think it's also important to remember that usually that's the vocal minority. And a lot of your player base aren't necessarily going to be the ones giving you feedback. They're going to be the ones that are quiet in the background, enjoying the game or not, continuing to play or putting it down. And actually, I think there's probably a wealth of information to be had from players which don't provide direct feedback. Like, look at what that player base is doing with their time, and how you can make that more fun for them. I think that's a good direction to go, and we are not going to Hagga Basin. I was on autopilot then. We are going to go to Arakeen. I was very pleased to discover yesterday that Harko Village does also have a donkey, so I am now absolutely, completely neutral about going to either city, but I kind of know my way around Arakeen better. I suspect I will end up joining House Arthritis for this upcoming change if I'm forced to pick an alignment in order to progress. Part of me is tempted to join Harkonnens, get them to what will be max rank of 20 faction, and then betray, but I also heard of some people having issues with betrayal once they'd reached maximum faction ranking with 1 rank, so I may just keep my betrayal in the back pocket and just go straight for House Arthritis. Excuse me. I don't really vibe with either of them, though. Got to say, I think the Atreides are kind of pompous and liars in the most kind of surreptitious way. Excuse me. And I think the Harkonnens are evil. They enjoy cruelty, which is not something I vibe with either. Which is why I am completely neutral. The only thing I've really missed from doing the Landsrad, other than the bonuses, I have friends that can pick stuff up from the shop for me when the Landsrad vendors are available. The only thing I really feel like I've missed out on is the swatches, and like I just don't care enough about those. It hasn't been a significant enough motivator for me to give up my neutral status. Yeah, there is no good in Dune. There is just less evil. And I kind of subscribe to the Will Wheaton law or whatever it is. Don't be a dick. I'm a practitioner of it. I wouldn't say I've mastered it, and I just think it's generally a good idea. Right, the most important thing every time you come to Arakeen, pet the donkey. He's a good boy. Boy, girl, who knows? He's a good donkey. Weapons vendor up here. Hopefully the cooldown has reset. Honestly, I haven't been paying close enough attention. Back for more, eh? She sounds like Jaheira. Yay! Right. Did I math it right? I did! Awesome. Yay for having a brain that remembers things sometimes. What we will do, there are 2 schematics, which, my god, have I tried. Which we are missing. The first one is an aluminium still suit, which has a dash reduction on it, which is only available from Hagga Fallen ships, maybe. And an iron one, exactly the same, has a dash reduction on it. These are the 2 schematics I have left to get. And my gosh, have I done a lot of Hagga Basin looking for them. Yeah, I'm just checking to see if it's there. There's another donkey you can pet on the stairs. What? Oh, this is awesome. Let me just double check there's nothing here. Yeah. On the stairs? Stairs? Donkey? Our second donkey. That's awesome. Then we have to pet both the donkeys every time we come here. I don't make up the rules. It's just what you have to do. Point me. Where is donkey number 2? Yeah. That's one of the Egypts in chat there, Big Doinks. Or Little D as he got known as. This way, okay. Yeah, he was just an asshole. But hey, every game has them, right? Should be inside. Oh, you mean inside the main bit? Back down the stairs, okay. Pretty sure we saw one without a still. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, and you can pet him too. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you for that. It's a good donkey. Nice. Nice donkey, man. Oops. Sorry. That's wicked. Thank you for that. So we've got a dust for our last part of our buggy. We're going to go and get that assembled. And we'll do a quick bit of buggy mining just to kind of show it off. Because we can, right? We need deep desert. We're going to come in the middle entrance. I think probably titanium ore has probably got more value still at this point for us. So we'll probably head over somewhere where there's a nice density of titanium nodes. You can, if you're very PvP shy or have a very aggressive player base on your server, use a carrier and a buggy or a buggy solo in A row and fill up still pretty quick. Especially if you're not too picky about going Stravinium or Titanium, just get a mixed bag, as it were. You can fill up relatively quickly. And if you really want to, you can set up an ore base near a lot of nodes and not even use a carrier. What we will do is we will just find out if that Egypt is online. Nah, he's in Arakeen or he's offline. Great, even better. He will just turn up just to shoot people for fun. I would say sport, but he tends to run away from an even match. Let's drift on by. Got a few friends out here on in the DD. Couple lurking in Hagga Basin. The population numbers are pretty low, but I think honestly I would take quality over quantity in most games that have other player bases. Let's see what we're looking at the moment for our server. Dune.gaming.tools has a server status button, which is very handy for such things. Yeah, we've only got 21 players in total. And although it shows 21, you wouldn't know the location of them between Hagga Basin, Capitals, and Deep Desert. We do have 5 of those 21 on my friends list, and plus me, that makes 6, so there's just 15 unaccounted for. Which is I guess the good thing about a smaller community. Yeah, he is online still. He's gone to Hagga. Great. Stay there, you bozo. Almost back, and I think it was the actual like cabin for the buggy that was what was missing. And you know what? We're actually not fully laden, so let's go and have a quick look in here. There's literally no resources that we really need, but extra schematics to break down for Chapter 3. Since I learned that that's going to be a thing, I went from a humble loot goblin to a loot goblin king, I think. And these usually have a schematic in them, if it's going to let me loot it, which it may not. Come on, game. Find the angle of the dangle. No, okay, unlootable. Awesome. Just saying, if it was me, I would have done some sort of error checking when you crash a ship to see if it's actually usable by players. Otherwise, it's essentially a scenery object. Like, check the destination that it's going to land before you spawn it in. And if it's not valid, spawn it somewhere else. Home sweet home. Right, where is... So our titanium farm, or high density, is in F3 this week. And that's where I want to pop up a PvP base. And I think what we'll do is tomorrow, which is the last day of challenge week, we will, after we've packed down this base, we'll leave a little bit of resources and make ourselves a PvP base out there. What am I doing? I'm making the cabin for the buggy. Hull. That literally just ticked over. I was probably just recalculating this. So we are actually going to need more paste for our next vehicle, which is interesting. I wasn't really expecting that. I guess we do the buggy next. That seems fine. Or actually, possibly we replace the generator. Yeah, I think we replace the generator and the booster. The booster's really expensive. Like 81 melange for a booster seems crazy. Oops. There we go. Yeah, see, this has gone red. I bet the other one's gone red as well. And I don't care particularly. I just want to know what it's about. Like, why? We don't need a lot of fuel in this, so just stick one in there. Oh. Okay, man, that was all. One was all it needed. Okay. Sky potato, let's go. Oh, yeah, I almost went and picked up my assault. Maybe? There we go. I wasn't quite sure how big the buggy was, because it's been a while since I did a top-down buggy bay, but that seems to be fine. Let us head to G3. Like here, I think, is where we want to be, which again is not far out as well, which is nice. So I think there was just, so we're gonna need, we got 6 diamond tine, we need another 7. And the vendor buyout again tomorrow, and we should be able to make all the vehicles, which is amazing, really. In 1 week, make absolutely everything, excluding the weapons and armor, with no materials from Hagga. That's cool. I was not expecting to do vehicles as well. that overheat period, man. That's killer. Gotta be much more mindful. It definitely seems to drop heat from an overheated status a lot slower than from a non-overheated status, which makes sense. Or does it? I mean, looking at that, that temperature cooldown kind of feels the same. Don't know. It could well be the same though. That does feel just as slow as the overheated cooldown. And it stays, I've noticed the temperature stays frozen before it drops down. Oh really, game? Okay. That is actually probably fine to hide in. 2000. You know what? Let's get a few nodes in at least. If we take some damage, we take some damage. It's fine. I'm kind of vaguely getting used to what the rock formations actually look like on the map and actually in when you're there. And there are some kind of cauldron-like formations where you can stick a carrier even laden to wait out a storm, which is handy. There is somewhere that we can definitely stick our buggy here that will be okay. I am wondering whether or not the PvP base I make out here would be big enough to fit a carrier in, should we need it. Like, we're definitely not getting shelter out here, excuse me, here anywhere. It's too big to fit in that archway. I think it's too big. I might fit in there, maybe. Nah, probably not. This isn't where we want to be. I put the marker in the wrong place. Looks like I did.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
So I think... Oh, this is Stravinium. That's not what I wanted. Way too far north. Yes, we are. By a whole sector. Okay, let's head south. That was me reading a map wrong. Oh, we're not too far away. Just looking up at that ship up there. See if it's coming down. Where's our highliner? Oh, it's not here. Oh yeah, there it is. I do wonder whether, once we get beyond Chapter 4, whether there'll be more with the Spacing Guild. And I mean, there's nothing stopping them from including travel to other planets. You know, you play the Spacing Guild enough money, or actually Melange, which is the only thing they care about, and they'll take you where you want to go. I'm really hoping that this rock formation that I saw on the map is actually one of those cauldrons, otherwise we may be a little bit of trouble. Just a little bit. Love those strings in the music. He really knocked it out of the park with the score. I assume it's a he, actually. I don't actually know. That looks shelterish. Maybe not. Let's see, can I wedge it in there? I think it's just too big. Let's see though, let's drop this here. And see if we can like... No, it is too big. Okay, so... Next question. Where can we shove this thing that it won't take storm damage? That's definitely not fitting in there. And as you can see, without any payload on it, it's actually relatively quick. Like, it's quicker than Mark V stuff. Oh, there is just, like, nowhere nearby. Alright, we'll just weather it. It'll be fine, probably. This is very foolish, but getting this far away from the carrier. Do not do what I'm doing, especially if you've got any kind of sky piracy going on your server. It would be a mistake. And also, of all the places to leave it next to a actual control point is kind of super moron stuff. But as you can see, compared to hand mining, my gosh, it's like night and day, right? Now I'm actually feeling the Mark V engine a little bit here. But it's fine. It saved us a bit of resources. We can get a couple more. Greed is good. Well, actually, greed is stupid, but I rarely get accused of being smart. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to punch the microphone there. Is it not actually coming here? It's not. Awesome. Oh, well, that's convenient. More luck than judgment. Quite relaxing doing this as well. Kind of like it. Okay. Yep. Whoop. There we go. And yeet. Roll. Oh, we're gonna get a roll in. So when you change to your laser, you do maintain a little bit of momentum. So you can always kind of swap a little bit early. And it looks like they fixed the bug. There was a bug if you, because when they introduced the hotkeys, F1 and F2, being driving and cut array, there was a bug where your cut array would stay, the mining laser would stay attached to the last node that you destroyed. And there didn't really seem to be a range on it. Like, it would just stay stuck to it. Which was kind of funny. How are we looking? We are looking 2/3 full, which is grand. These things do fill up pretty quickly. Whoop. And this is the advantage of coming out to PvP to do this. Like, this would be much safer, and it's much more sensible as a solo to do this in aero. You're not going to have any aggro. You still need to be careful about flying over wrecks, especially if you've got some kind of opportunistic sky bozos that are just waiting for people to fly over wrecks to flag themselves. But other than that, you can just take your time. There's no aggro. Storms in aeros do happen, but they're very uncommon. And now you can actually take tethered vehicles out to the overland. You can just grab your buggy and fly out to the map, wait out the storm. So it's easier than ever. It'll be interesting to see what they choose to do when they revert the desert back to PvP. If they will also put all of the titanium nodes and stravinium nodes beyond aero again. Like initially, you wouldn't find stravinium and titanium until you got quite deep out in the desert and everywhere was PvP, which made locations like this, which have a high density, very high value and kind of contested. But it did gate those. Oh, nice! It did gate PvP players from really obtaining any without getting shot at, basically. I would personally, I would like them to either give PvE players another source of titanium stravinium, or maintain the nodes in aero. I think I would rather a different source and put it back to the way it was, and just give PvE players, I say them because I'm primarily PvE as well, give us something which isn't going to be a ludicrous grind. Like, yes, okay, allow people to gather it faster in PvP, but not at a like massively significant difference in terms of time. Like, if it takes you X amount of time to gather 1,000 ore in PvP, then it takes, I don't know, 1.5x to do it in PvE, something like that. Well, first buggy trip was super successful without incident from hostiles. What I think we'll do, we'll put some more plast on. I will check to see if we've got any more spice to process. Of course we do. We've got a sand crawler full of it. We've got 1,000. Wow, I actually already forgot. That's so how unused to sand crawling I am. So I guess we'll get some of that cooked up, because I would definitely not be wanting to bring all the sand back to Hagga. I would much rather be bringing the melange, because it weighs a lot less and a lot less slots. So we'll get some of that cooking up, and maybe we'll look at making the new vehicle crate thing next, because we're going to need that tomorrow for the pack down. And perhaps that over the buggy and the tread wheel. The buggy and the tread wheel, yes, maybe I'll come back a bit later, maybe even a second stream, we'll see, and do a bit of farming and grinding for it, because I would like to say, hey, I built all the vehicles too, but honestly, like, we've done so well this week. We've achieved so much in terms of the challenge being met and going beyond, and it's been a lot of fun. I say buried treasures are kind of sleeper stuff. You get so much out of them, including like a full Mark IV buggy. Yeah, okay, it's only Mark IV, but that's fine. Like, put a bigger boot on it, put a cut array on it, and boom, you're away. I didn't actually loot those when I found them, and I found 2 of them, 2 complete buggies just buried in the sand, all the parts. But that would definitely be something to go for if you're going to do this challenge. And if I were to do it again, I would probably grab those Mark IV buggies just to take some of the grind out of the manual cut arraying of stuff. Even if you have to like assemble it and bring it in an assault, use it to mine, and then bring it back. Like, I still think that would probably be worth it. Keep the container sheltered at all times. It is very flimsy from what I've heard. I haven't made one yet, but I've certainly heard tales that the slightest bit of storm damage and that thing is just gonna like fold like tissue paper. Right. Whoop. Nice. I'm really pleased with how the base turned out as well. I have to say the latest Observer set stuff looks great. Really pleased with it. Just hop this forward a little bit more. It doesn't actually matter if the tips of the wings are hanging out. It just kind of looks a bit funny when they're poking out of a Penta shield. Let's see. 2 more bodies on. Gotta find somewhere to put all of this spice. Sand. Don't need this. So we should have 10 dust in total. It's probably all in the recycling machine. I do want to actually check that so I know how much we got. Oh, there's none in there. Maybe we do only have 4. No, that can't be right. We must have more. Nope. Maybe we did. Maybe we're down to the last 4. It's entirely possible that that's right. It is hard to get hold of, I swear. Right. Let's have a look, see how much this container thing is. I don't even know what's under. I guess carrier? Yeah, here we go. Oh my god, that's a lot of plast. Okay, well, we'll make some more plast then. Let's get the buggy unloaded. I didn't realize it was 300. Sandcrawler. I'll just load this up till it's full. Oops. I really wish if you put your cursor between the squares and used like Q and E, it didn't change container. Like the amount of times I'll do that by accident. Ugh. It's frustrating. Sandcrawler, this stuff. And then we want buggy, this stuff. My gosh, we are very full of stuff. Buggy, rest of this. Oops. We're gonna have to leave some in the sandcrawler, which is fine. Okie dokie. This should use up all the water, pretty much. This should use up the rest. Oh, we actually used those. Cool. And we've got a fair bit of etherite. So definitely at least one more vehicle is on the cards. That's got another 10 minutes, which is fine. We're okay for bodies. Well, that was like amazingly successful run. We went and got titanium. We went and did our first spice harvest. That's not even all of it. So that's, well, it's going to be 1,000 in total. What we brought back. I'm going to take the melange out of the machine just in case I forget when I'm packing down that there's spice in there, which is definitely the sort of doofus brain thing I would do. Just check these other ones. That one's empty. Fine. Sure, you can go in there. We're good for that. Let's give our scout a quick little repair. This is done very well. And to put it in perspective, this was a brand new scout at the beginning of the wipe. We haven't taken any kind of aggro-thopter damage, so this is just wear. And no storm damage either. This is our second scanner. We actually burnt entirely through one scanner. Through scanning for buried treasures. Yeah. It's done well though. You kind of have to, like, I could do a challenge where it's like no vehicle start, no gear start. And part of me is tempted to do that, but I think getting to this very end game tier, doing that in a single week would be... Like, it's doable, but it would be like an ungodly amount of hours. Like, you wouldn't... I wouldn't want to play that much, and I love the game, so... But maybe we'll do it and just see how far we can get. Anyone wanting to come out here and do a no gear start? The wreck in... I think it's this one. No, it's a smaller one. It might be this one, or it might be... Yeah, no, I think it's this one. Has no bad guys in it. So you can go in there and just loot. And there's quite a high chance you'll find a weapon. It's not going to be a great one, but it's a weapon. And maybe even a bit of armor just to kind of get you started. Getting to shields and power packs and stuff is obviously going to be a priority if you have no gear. But for this no materials run, it's been awesome. And it's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream than normal today because it's a friend's birthday and I'm going to go and wish them a happy one. But I will be back tomorrow for the last day of challenge week, and I can't wait to see how much materials that we've gathered. Like, obviously some of it we won't be able to see in an actual storage because it's inside, it's in our assault, or it's in our carrier, or it's in our sandcrawler. But when we dismantle all of the architectural stuff, the utilities, it's going to be a lot. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much it's going to be. Hopefully it's all going to fit in one of these large plastic containers, because we'll definitely make one of those. I'm going to do that first, and then secondary will be the bike and tread wheel. But this has been awesome, and I really hope some of you join again if you're able to tomorrow for the last day of challenge week. It's been a hell of a lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed it. I want to thank you all for joining again, and I will see you next time for more Dune. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.